Hey everyone, so how about this for a fun top five? I've had a chance to visit a lot of places in all my years, and one of the things I always tell my students is one of the best reasons to study history is if you get a chance to travel somewhere, the places you go see have so much more meaning to them. And what I want to share with you is of the places I have been to, and it's been quite a few, kind of my five top historical places I visit, and kind of explain why as we go through them. So number five, and it's very hard to pick just five, and I try to put some few funny pictures of me in here. But the city of Olympia in Greece, and this is of course the home of the ancient Greek Olympic Games. And I was actually surprised how well preserved so many of the monuments were there and in the areas. And there you see me on the track field. You could actually still go there and run on the track that the ancient Greeks ran on. You can see the one here on the top left is where you see where they lit the Olympic flame. On the bottom left there is the entrance to the track stadium. So that's a fun place to see. There's a lot of cool things there in Olympia, and of course it's in Greece, and there's a ton of stuff in Greece. One thing I try not to do is just pick things in the major cities. Like I could say, sure, Athens and the Acropolis, which is absolutely stunning as well. But for me, some of my favorite places, this is something I tell my students as well. When you go places visit, everybody goes to the big cities. They go to London, they go to Rome, they go to Paris, and some of the best things to see are outside those big cities. And so actually, as you're going to see in my top five, I don't know if I have any of them in like a big major city. Some of them are, but it's pretty cool. All right, next, number four. This is just England, right? It was Great Britain. I've been to England so many times. It was hard for me to pick one specific place. So you see here a picture of Hadrian's Wall, and on the top left there, on the bottom left, that's Churchill's grave. I mean, that's something that I remember going and seeing and thinking, wow, this guy is buried in a pretty humble little cemetery, not in some big thing like Westminster Abbey down in London. On the bottom right is Canterbury, the cathedral in Canterbury. Really cool, crazy story there about a man named Thomas Becket and Henry II. I actually have a lecture on that you could watch as well on my channel. It's a lot of fun. And there on the top right from a few years back, that's the HMS Victory. So if you go over there to southern England, this was the ship of Lord Nelson. And it's pretty cool. It's during the Napoleonic Wars and everything. And so that's a cool place to go and visit as well. And you can go inside the ship and tour it and all of that. So that's a lot of fun. So there's a million things in England. But that's definitely my have to put it up there somewhere in the top five. It was hard to pick just one from there. Florence. Yes, I love Florence. Of all the places I visit, this is what I tell my students, there's never been a place I've walked through that felt more like the time period it's associated with. You can go through London, but you don't feel like you're in medieval London. You can walk through Rome near the Colosseum, you don't feel like you're in ancient Rome. But when you walk through Florence, you feel like you're in the Renaissance. And, you could see on the pictures here, the one is the Signoria, the other one is the famous Duomo, the cathedral. I have actually a little video on that and how they built the dome on that. It's a fun little story. But Florence is just, you just walk through it and you feel like you're in the Renaissance. Every corner you take, every step there, all the red roof tiles that are associated with it. There you can see on the right. So it's absolutely beautiful, stunning, a lot of historical things to see there. So Florence, in terms of Renaissance cities, definitely one of my favorite as well. Lots of other places, of course, in Italy. Of course, there's Rome. There's another great medieval city called Siena that I didn't even put in my top five. But if you want a nice medieval city in Italy, there's that. And there's a ton of other stuff in Italy I've been to as well. But there's just a couple there. Number two, just the Wailing Wall. When you go to Israel and you go to Jerusalem and you go to the Wailing Wall, it's, if you think of the significance of this monument, and I do have a whole other lecture again on Solomon's Temple and how we get the Wailing Wall and the story of the two temples that were built there, one destroyed and the second one destroyed. It is such a long history. It goes back thousands of years, the history of the Jewish people in Jerusalem. And it's something anyone can go and visit. You don't have to be, I always tell my students, you don't have to be Jewish to go to the Wailing Wall. Anybody can go. You could be a Muslim, Christian, Jew, atheist. Anybody can go and see there. And just from a sheer historical place, it's amazing. And then all of Israel is alone. I mean, talk about a kid in a candy store for a historian. You go to ancient Israel because Israel is one of those nations that, yes, the Jewish people were there thousands of years ago, but so many other civilizations had already also been in there over the years, whether it's the Romans and the Byzantines. That was one city there called Bet Shean that was like the size of a football field and had like 20 different civilizations all in it at the same time, at different times, I should say. So you can walk through and you could see like a Roman amphitheater, and you could see Byzantine mosaics, and you see all these Roman, it's just really cool stuff there. So a ton of stuff in Israel. I mean, it's, the city of Akko where the Crusades went. Amazing history there. So that's a lot of place. But my most favorite place I've ever visited in all my various trips was actually the D-Day beaches in Normandy. And, this for me, I always remember because when I first planned to go there in Normandy, I said, all right, I'm going to go to Normandy and I'm going to look at this as kind of an opportunity to go take pictures, bring it back to my classes, and use it to help lecture. And, honestly, when I finished the trip, it felt almost like going on a pilgrimage because it was so intense being there. What are these pictures you see here? So on the top left, you see an image of one of the bunkers at a place called Point de Hoc. So this is, of course, one of the resistance nests that the Nazis had built there. And you could see the size. There's a person standing there, just to give you the sense of those bunkers. On obviously these two pictures with the crosses, that's the D-Day cemetery at Normandy. It's a very emotional place to go and see. And then there on the bottom right, that's, folks, Omaha Beach. And this is a picture I took when I was there. And it's one of those moments that I was just there absorbing everything. And I saw this girl, I don't know, 5, 6 years of age, about the same age now that my daughter is. And she's just running on the beach, free as can be. And it just hit me at that moment that she has no idea what was given there, that the sacrifices that were made on that beach so she could be free and run there on a summer's day. And so to me, that has always been, let's say, an incredible place to go and visit. And this is what I tell my students. Look, if you don't know any history and you go to the D-Day beaches in Normandy, it's just sand and water. You might as well be at your local beach. But if you know what happened there, and 18, 19-year-old boys, sometimes even younger than that, gave their lives there, so for so many people, then it has such meaning and it resonates with you. So there's amazing things, obviously. Again, this is in France, Normandy. But I didn't pick Paris. I mean, there's a ton of other things in France. There's the Palace of Versailles that I've been to, which is cool. Of course, in Paris, you have the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower. You can visit the Louvre and all these amazing things. But at the end of the day, for me, my favorite place to go and visit is Normandy. I also like the city of Bayeux, where you have the Bayeux Tapestry there as well. So there's a lot of amazing things to see when you travel, but I guess the point of this short lecture is just my top 5, but also hopefully to inspire you to think of, hey, these are the main things you can go and see if you know some history, it resonates with you. So I'd love you to leave some comments, maybe places you visited and why it meant so much to you. It'd be great to hear that from you, and I hope you just kind of enjoyed my little tour of Western civilization and the Middle East a little bit. It's told me other places I didn't get into Spain and Cordoba. I've been there as well, but just a ton of places to go and see in history. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you. Have a great day.